And many people are in that same situation. They float from day to day and they're not clear about their stuff at all. So my question to you is, are you buying stuff because it's a social activity for you? And are you really clear about why you're spending the money you're spending? Now, many people will be accused of having too much stuff for other reasons. But one of the reasons, honest to goodness reason, that I had so much stuff is because lo and behold, it was just a social event. I could do just as well without the stuff. I'd gone my whole entire life without stuff. I didn't really know why I was buying stuff. I was just kind of buying it. And so there I was. I'm like, oh, I'm doing what everyone else is doing. And I did find myself in a situation where we would go shopping together and I didn't really want to buy anything. I didn't have anything to buy. There was nothing on my shopping list. But then I felt like weird and like socially inept if I didn't buy something. Has that ever happened? You go out with friends and then there's nothing to buy and you don't want to like walk away empty handed because they'll think you're cheap, something like that. So then I started buying weird things like, oh, I guess I'll buy a handbag today. I didn't need a handbag. I'm a nanny. Everywhere I go, I'm carrying a diaper bag. I didn't need a handbag, right? I'm going out with my friends. I already have a handbag. I don't need two. And so I was trying to buy things to fit in. And so that's a really weird reason to be buying stuff. But honest to goodness, that was my initiation into the world of stuff. Oh, and it gets better from here. I wish back in those days I had been conscientious of what was happening because I would have made a whole bunch of different choices than I did. I've got a Facebook user here that says shopping really can really become a hobby, which is not good. I love flea markets, thrift stores, and yard sales. Now, I'm gonna echo my love for these as well because growing up in a family with so many kids, money was tight. And so anytime I could get a bargain, I was like, yes, wow, look what I just found. Steal of a deal. Let's get this, right? And usually it was really good stuff that I could have a reason to buy. Yes, let's buy that. I recently went to the thrift store. My parents were coming to town and my mother was too proud to travel with her little walker. It's got wheels on it and you can push it. And she was too proud to travel with that and thought she could make it all the way across the country to go see all of her kids without it. And I was like, wait a second, mom's coming to town. She's going to be on the road for another 2 or 3 weeks. Let me see if I can drop by the thrift store and find one. And when I went inside the thrift store, and this is just a couple months ago, I went inside the thrift store and there was a whole aisle of mobility devices. And they had these that fit over the toilets. And they had these that helped you up if you were sitting on a sofa. They had those that had the wheels on them. They had the raised toilet seats. They had things for the shower. There was a whole bunch of stuff. And I was able to get 5 or 6 items for under $20. And I'm in just this euphoria of like, look at me, I hit the jackpot. And I was really happy because my mother was only coming to stay with me for a weekend, but then she would have the things that she needed. And my sister came to pick her up and she was going to go stay with my sister. And my sister didn't have any of that stuff either. So I sent all that stuff with my sister so my sister would have it at her house to make my mother's stay more comfortable. And my mother said, oh, let me pay you for all this stuff. We're like, no, like we're going to send it back to the Goodwill when we're done after you've used it, or you're free to take it home, but we don't need it. And it was just for your stay here. So I'm not knocking the wonderfulness of thrift stores, but I do think there's a time and a place. And I think you have to shop with awareness if you're going to shop. When I went to the thrift store that day, I went with a very specific set of things I was looking for. And when I walked in, what I saw some really cool stuff for the office, like office storage shelves. And I picked one up like I was going to buy it. And I was like, wait a second, that's not on my list. And that's not why I came. And I made myself put it back. And then I was like, get out of the store and stop looking. You did not come for anything else other than what you just got. Get what you got and get out of the store. And I'm learning those disciplines now. Okay. So it's taken me a lifetime to do this, but it goes back. I mean, we're going back 30 years to when I unconsciously started spending crazy amounts. A friend said I donated 15 cases of books to the library after my husband died. He was the book collector in our family. And I am so proud of you for this. Books are so hard to get rid of for me. I'm an avid book collector. So, friend, you're raking in the bells today with good news that you're sharing with us. So thank you. That's a huge inspiration. Julie says, good morning from California. Hey, Julie, it's good to see you. And it is morning there in California. Hi, and how are you? Sylvie says, Virginia SO8, I understand you. I love my books too. I love my books. I'm a huge book fan.